There we are.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Robert. Good morning. I'm very excited to be here today. My talk this morning is on the evolution of location. Get the slides up. Marks the 6th month that I've been working on location at Google. I worked on a search for 10 years and made a transition in October. It's been an incredibly exciting and energizing time. And I think, much like my experience at Google, that's what this conference is really about. There's so much happening in location today that it's just really, really exciting. And when we think about the evolution of location at Google, we really see what's happening in the space evolving along axes. Explore the world and find new places, find new things. Interactivity, how do we interact with these applications online? How do we interact with the real world? And in many ways, mobile location-based applications are the cursor that connects the virtual world and the physical world. And finally, new perspectives. There's so much data out there that's location-rich, between imagery on Earth, places information around location, but also just geotagged information in the form of photos and tweets, that being able to organize all of that information yields all kinds of new and interesting perspectives. And when we look at Google's products along these 3 lines in terms of how is location evolving, there's all kinds of interesting things that have been happening. So this is Google Maps, and this is how Google Maps launched in 2005. And at that moment, it was a seminal moment. For many ways, it's defined AJAX and defined Web 2.0, because you could actually drag and drop the map smoothly, and you could zoom in and out. But at the same time, you can see, just by looking back at it, it was incredibly rudimentary. You know, the resolution of the map wasn't as good as it is today. We now have transit information and traffic information. So if you're driving or taking public transit, it's easy to know not only how to get there, but how quickly you're going to get there. And today, of course, we also have mobile maps. So we have maps on the phone, more than 150 million users using that. And today, we now see on the weekends, we are actually seeing more traffic for maps on the phone than we're seeing on desktop. So we announced in South by Southwest in March that we've seen 40% of our usage. Today, we're actually seeing a crossover, more mobile usage of maps on the weekends than of desktop usage. So this is just a really exciting time. It's amazing to see how far these products have evolved. And of course, the flip side to maps is places. So last fall, we launched Google Places, and Places is our set of local information. How do we present information about businesses and places of interest? And today, we have more than 50 million place pages. These pages represent businesses, but they also represent points of interest. Like this is the Vista Outlook, just north of the Golden Gate Bridge. And when you take a look at these pages, they're about giving you a sense of the place. When is it open? The methods of payment. What do the pictures look like? How do I get there? What does the street view image from the front look like? This is also where the social part of location comes in, because our place pages are also about reviews. How do you get a sense of the place? And it's not just about the facts. It's about what do people think of this place? How do they rate it, and how do they review it? And we've had rating and reviewing in Google Places since last fall. We launched it as something called Google Hotpot. Last month, we announced that Hotpot was a success, rolled it into the core of Google Places. This is a place where you can go and rate and review places that you love. And you can also share this with your friends, because Google Places isn't just about rating and reviewing, it's also about getting personalized recommendations. So you come here and you express your preferences, and then based on other users like you, as well as your friends, we give you recommendations in response. We're really excited about how far Google Places has come. There's a lot of new information here that's presented to our users every day, and it really helps with their ability to explore and interact and get a new perspective on their locations. And I'm also proud to announce today that we have more than 5 million ratings and reviews that we've collected. We've been moving along at a great clip of about 1 million new ratings and reviews per month, and that's continued right up to the present. So we're very excited about what's been happening here in terms of our ability to give people a new look at the businesses around them. Next, I want to talk a little bit about Google Earth. So in addition to maps and places, we also have Google Earth, which is our client software. Google Earth has always been about interacting with the world and seeing it in entirely new ways. When it launched in 2005, this is what it looked like. As you can see, again, the resolution of the imagery wasn't great, the controls were fairly clunky, but of course people really loved the fact that now satellite images weren't just something you saw on the news. You could actually fly to your house, zoom in, see where you lived, see where you worked. But even then, it was still something that was fairly basic, and you couldn't get great imagery. And today, we've not only updated all the imagery, we've also updated all kinds of things you can do with it. So for example, on Sunday night, when the Osama bin Laden story broke, we saw hundreds of requests for this particular area of Pakistan. You can see high-resolution imagery. It's a little high, it looks a little low resolution here, but high-resolution imagery, and also the ability to look at it historically. So this is what the area with the compound looked like in 2005, and you can actually fast forward and see exactly where this happened. And it gives you a completely new perspective on this element of the news and what's happening in the world and how the world is changing by having functionality not only with high-resolution imagery, but also the ability to look backward and forward through time. And today we're really excited because in addition to all the aerial awareness that's built, we have two new products that we're here to release. One around Google Places and one around Google Earth. And these are both about bringing these three different axes for evolution and location to life. How can we explore and discover new things? How can we interact with things better? And how can we get new perspectives? So when we take a look at Google Places, so that one of the things that Google Places really brings to light is photos and imagery. And we've done this with Street View. In recent months, we've also done this with something called the ARC Project, where we took our Street View cameras inside to museums, and we pulled together some photos of all the different artwork inside the 17 museums we partnered with. And today, we're launching Google Business Photos, which takes our imagery inside of a business with the business owner's permission and request. We schedule it with the business owner, and we go into their business and shoot photos so people can actually get a sense of what a business is like inside. And to demonstrate the product and introduce it, I'd like to welcome Mark Colbert, the tech lead for Google Business Photos. Mark?
Hi everyone, good morning.
Good morning.
So, I moved to San Francisco about a few years ago, and I sort of picked up a new habit, eating a lot at restaurants. And I absolutely loved eating at restaurants. And the one thing that I also did as becoming a San Franciscan was I started becoming very picky about what I liked and disliked while eating at restaurants. And for me, one of the big things was the ambience of that restaurant. Was it really big and spacious, or was it small and more compact and very intimate? I don't really like either. I like somewhere in between, and I had no way of actually describing in words very well what I was looking for when I was trying to find this.